closing statements. Heidi?
Well, I want to thank you all for coming here today, because by being here, you're demonstrating your interest in the space program, the planetary program, the astrophysics program. As I've said repeatedly today, I think that these are incredibly valuable for the future of our country. And I hope that working together, we can find a way to make the kinds of missions that you heard about today a reality, rather than just a dream of a future lost.
The queue is empty. Submissions underway now, but if we don't refill the queue, we're going to have a lost decade. Can't accept that. I'll also say the following, that NASA does ask, I mean, it's only 1/2 of 1% of the federal budget, but it's a chunk, okay? And it is the right of the American people to insist upon results in return for that funding. The planetary program has delivered results for its funding. The space astronomy program has delivered results for that funding. Human spaceflight program, at certain times, has delivered results for that funding, but it is currently not engaged in doing that. Okay, I think it needs to be put on a mission-driven basis. I think if we have a right to expect results. If the president says that we should do an asteroid mission, it should be given to NASA's real engineers to figure out how to do an asteroid mission within 5 years, because we can. It shouldn't be given to the Battlestar Galactica fan club at NASA headquarters to do visions about, okay, for something to be done in 20, 30 years from now. I think that a mission-driven NASA is a successful NASA. It's a NASA that gives the nation and humanity what it once deserves and should have, and we shouldn't settle for anything less. And finally, as I said before, you know, in tough times, times of war, times of depression, okay, there are people who circumstance has placed in the role of the guardians of civilization. Okay? And they have a responsibility. They have a trust to guard, that they must act to preserve society's highest achievements regardless of the havoc that reigns around them. And this is the responsibility that the guardians of the nation now have before them. They cannot let this program become a casualty of the current situation.
We explore space for 5 or 6 reasons that I've collected over the last 35 years. It's for national interest, great pride, an accomplishment of a bold nation doing bold things. There's a return on investment. Even most conservative studies say you get $2 or $3 back for every dollar you invest in space exploration. It inspires students. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, maybe even the arts are thrilled by what we do when we go to Mars or look into the depths of the universe. It is a platform for international collaboration. Who ever thought we would be dependent today on our former adversaries? Some people even think we need to be establishing a second home for humanity. Maybe so. For me, the driving reason, because of my background and my interests, is are we alone? We alone in the universe, and the space program has, I think, the best chance to help us figure that out. That's why we explore space.
So people often don't realize that we have this armada of 50, 60 spacecraft exploring the solar system, 4 of which will leave our solar system, and that's a true legacy to humanity. But we're on the verge of completing the initial reconnaissance of the worlds around us: Mercury, Venus, our own planet, of course, viewed from space, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And on July 15th, 2015, the New Horizons probe will fly past Pluto, completing the sort of classical reconnaissance of the worlds around us. And that is a legacy that America has led. And that legacy shouldn't end there. That is the first step. Reconnaissance is the first step. These robots that we are so enamored with are scouts. There are virtual eyes and ears, senses, and we send them out there because we can't go yet. But we desperately want to go, and we need to go as a species for all the reasons that Scott, and Robert, and others have mentioned. And so I come back to pioneering, I come back to the frontier, and I think this is part of America's new destiny, to be the leader in this third great age of space exploration. I want to see it continue more than anything else.
Thank you all.